Hey guys, welcome to Views from the Vault. It's your homie Leon here with our co-hosts Pierre and Jason Mead. We have a very special guest joining us today, Chris from Hillside Goods. He's going to be going under the cap with us, learn about his process, learn about kind of his journey in caps, how he got started, what got him interested in art, stuff like that. So take it away, Pierre.
Well, first I've got to acknowledge it's the 1 year anniversary of the Toronto Raptors winning the NBA championship, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's
so
correct.
So Leon had to wear his we the champs cap today. But listen, first, Chris, I did tell you this probably a few months ago when I posted on my Instagram, but this logo that I'm wearing right now and you're wearing and Leon was wearing or may wear later on in the show is probably in my top 5 all-time logos.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, this thing and the Kraken is not far behind it, but this one is my all-time favorite amongst your work, and it's my top 5 all time. But I want to give everyone. What's that, Chris?
All time.
Yeah. Listen, man, I would put this up there with any logo that's out there. It's clean, it's simple, but it's super sharp looking, and this colorway with the navy with the orange, it's incredible, man. With the green under, it's probably one of the cleanest caps I've purchased in the last 2 years. And I'm not saying that just because you're here. I've told Leon that prior to even having you on the show. So just it means a lot to me to get to chat with you today. A lot of folks out there want to learn more about you, and I think we're starting to have some folks pour in now. So, Chris, I'd love it if you just told us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. All right. I'm Chris. I'm a graphic designer by trade. I live just south of Seattle, the city just south of Seattle. I've been doing it I'm 38 years old, so I've been doing it, since right out of my college portfolio show, I got hired as a graphic designer, and I've been doing it ever since then. I do freelance work, branding I've done a bunch of restaurants and bars. And I just started out drawing when I was young. I could always draw naturally, pretty talented. I used to only get art supplies for Christmas and birthdays until I was like 12, 13. I had to tell my parents I wanted something, something different.
Yeah.
But I was stocked up by then, they always supported me.
Yeah.
And through school, I'd always took art classes, and I took advanced art classes in high school, graphic design class in high school. And then right out of high school, I went to college. I went to Seattle Central University. And I got accepted into there. This is a very small program. It's pretty hard to get into. I was the youngest person in the program. And it's a 2-year program, and I was out, got hired at my portfolio show. And I've just been doing it ever since. And mostly branding jobs, logo jobs is what I specialize in. That's what I really like to do. And I just started designing hats, I guess, when the Clink Room just started. I stumbled upon it somehow. And I was like, it's a no-brainer. I've always wanted to do hats.
So Chris, like going back to when you were a kid and you were drawing, what types of things did you draw?
I started out, I was like a card collector, kids in my age bracket back then, baseball, basketball, football cards.
Yeah.
And I would draw those, and I would caricaturize the football players a lot. I'd make the big helmets and stuff. And then I moved on to like comic books. I would copy comic books.
Okay.
And I started.
Who's your favorite comic book artist? Did you have one?
Back then, Spawn, right? So McFarlane.
Todd McFarlane. Yeah.
I like Savage Dragon too. So I think it was Eric Larson, I think.
Oh, Eric Larson. When I was a kid, you know what I called him, Chris? The bootleg Todd McFarlane. Because if you remember, I'm a little bit older than you, but if you remember, Todd McFarlane drew the Spider-Man comic books. It's when Spider-Man really took off and Venom came onto the scene. And then once McFarlane left Amazing Spider-Man, Larson took over. And I was kind of pissed because I love Todd McFarlane's art. And then Eric Larson, to me, he took what McFarlane's art and did it like a little bit bigger and a little bit more comic-y. So I called him the bootleg Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, actually, I drew a Savage Dragon. I used to do it a lot in 5th grade, 6th grade. I would draw comic book pages for my friends at school, and I would sell them to them for like $5.
Yeah.
I got in trouble with the teachers. I had to stop doing it. I don't know why they had a problem with it, but and the Savage Dragon, like a big headshot on, was like a big seller. I'd do that one a bunch.
Yeah.
Hey, Christoph just brought up a very good question. I don't know if we covered it in the pre-show, but where'd the name Hillside Goods come from?
It was honestly, it wasn't that hard to come up with because I had to come up with something, right? Well, I came up with that name just for the Hat Club collaboration because at the time I've had previous brands that I kind of just let go by the wayside. But where I live out here, I mean, you guys can see this background. This rock wall is my house. My house is built into a hill. It's like a late mid-century modern home built into the side of a hill. So it's literally hillside. And I just thought it just sounded interesting. And it's, everything that I do is sort of inspired by my surroundings, the Pacific Northwest, nature, animals. I just thought it made sense.
Yeah, I think that logo, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, you guys could probably see it on the thumbnail that we put on later, but I love that back logo.
Yeah, it's just a SH, monogram. I guess HS monogram, but just with a snake, simple, but it would look good small.
Yeah, it looks really good. So when you think, so you were doing that art as a kid, so you had some sports influences, you had some comic book influences, which I think are pretty run of the mill for kids, right? We were all into those as kids. But all right, so you get into graphic design. Now, when did you first enjoy hats? Like, was that like later on, or tell us about that part?
I was into hats when I was in like 4th, 5th, 6th grade. That was when like the fitted hats and like champion jerseys were like a big hit in my area.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they were like $40 for a jersey, $20 for a hat. And my parents were like, that's too much, So I rarely got one. Yeah. But I remember my first fitted hat I got when I was like 12. And it was a University of Alabama hat. Because my grandfather played football at the University of Alabama.
All right, cool.
And I was just, he was like my idol. So I wanted to get a Bama hat. And I remember it was like, $20, $21 back then. And I got it. It destroyed filthy because it was white with a red bill. But I mean, that was it. And I was just, whenever I could get one after that, when I save up a little money, maybe a birthday present here and there.
Yeah.
Once I got my own money, working when I was in high school or whatever, I just buy hats all the time.
So Chris, I think we have our first lemon tree question. So someone asked boxers or briefs.
Boxers, man. OG.
All right, cool. So you didn't even use the lemon tree yet, so we're good. You don't even care about answering that question. But cool. So tell us about you're heading towards a place where you're going to tell us about Clink Room, right? So tell us about that.
Honestly, I was trying to think about this earlier. I don't remember how I stumbled upon them.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't come up with how, but I just know that I found the site and they had all these drawings. They were like the behind the scenes of logos that they'd done. And I was just super interested in it. And there's one post where I don't remember who was Casey or Jason, but they posted like a picture or a post about he was carving like the neck of a guitar, like a bear or something on like the end of a guitar. Or I was like, this guy's like, he's pretty talented, Yeah. I was like, he doesn't just, I don't know, just it intrigued me. And so I kept, every day I would check it. And then once they posted that first contest, I was like, it seemed like a no-brainer because I mean I've always designed things and I've always worn hats, so it's just no question I'm gonna submit something.
Yeah, and what did you submit?
Well, the first time I did it, I didn't really have a good concept of what they were looking for.
Yeah,
and so I had this idea for Gabacho's tacos. It was like a little chicken, but it was more of like an illustration. It wasn't really like a hat logo. And I submitted it, and he gave me some feedback on what I could change, and I just scrapped the whole thing. Actually, I could show you a sketch. It's in one of these sketchbooks.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
If I can find it. But the first one I submitted that was like a real deal one, I think, was the Sea Devils. And then it won, and it was, pretty popular, pretty successful. So just kind of went from there.
So when you think what's a no-go for you from a logo standpoint? What do you see out there that you just can't stand from a logo perspective?
I don't like them when they're too big on the hat. I think proportion's real important.
Yeah.
I don't like it when the logo is like all the way across the panel. Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like them. to have like 30 colors, you know.
Sure.
That's really about. I don't have a lot of pet peeves. It's just my own personal style is simple, two
Yeah.
colors.
You strike me as the kind of guy that's not going to wear an all-over cap.
Never. I'll probably never wear a yellow hat. You know, it's just navy, black, red, maroon.
Yeah.
You know, if I could only design navy hats, I probably would. But eventually someone's gonna tell me to stop. So
you pro or against side patches?
I like them. I don't have any, but I like them. Some of them can get sort of large. Fortunately, they're kind of out of control. I get that it's a fad right now. It's kind of a trendy thing, but I like them. I don't own any, and that's only because I wear real basic, on-field hats mostly. Even growing up, all the hats I owned were just on-field hats. I didn't get anything real custom, anything crazy. I'd have like a 10-15 rotation, and when one got too dirty, I would just buy another one, and it would be another on-field hat. So that's why you see all the hats I design are pretty much of that nature, you know.
So Chris, you said you were a Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
So you know I'm a Patriots fan. Did you know that?
You know, that's touchy. Lemon tree, you know.
It was, Chris, just so you're aware, right? I was watching that game with my dad, right? And I was done. I was so pissed, man. I had my AFC Championship hat. And I was about to throw it in the trash. I told my dad, because my dad loves baseball, but he doesn't understand football quite as well as he does baseball. And I told him this shit's done. It's over.
Everybody thought that.
It's done. And I've never had a more drastic turn of events in my entire life than
you're giving me flashbacks right now.
When Malcolm Butler just jumped in front of that pass, man, and like, oh my God. And Marshawn Lynch.
Difficulties right now. I got it.
All right, man. Listen, I should have respected you. You did say lemon tree, so we got to move on from that.
Yeah,
so
that's a tough one.
Yeah, no. So Chris, I'm going to ask you something easier. So that's going to be easier on you, I think. So which is there any designers out there or peers out there that really inspire you, or you're like, wow, I really appreciate this person's work?
Specifically in hats?
Yeah.
I really like the work that the Noble North.
Yeah.
I think he has a really good designer. I like a lot of his logos.
Yeah.
I think he hires the guy who does his stuff. I like his stuff. It's sharp, it's clean, it's just really well done. I like Chimuko's stuff.
Yeah.
I'd say those are the top two.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair.
They're also sort of vintage inspired, especially what's up?
Yeah. So how about like not in the hat world? What inspires you as part of your designs and stuff like that?
I don't really have a designer in mind necessarily. It's just like certain styles I like. I love monograms. Mm-hmm. I just like simple. I like simple elegance. I think it's easy to get things just too much going on, you know. And I try to dumb things down to like the most basic level where it makes the most sense and it still looks really nice.
So Chris, what's your favorite sports logo?
Ooh. It might be the Atlanta Falcons from the 90s.
Ooh. Andre Rison.
Yeah.
That era.
That's up there. That's definitely up there. It's the first thing that comes to mind. I'm sure there's a bunch of others, but
yeah.
I like the Pittsburgh Pirates, just a simple P.
Oh, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. Detroit's my number 3 because it's for me. I have to go Red Sox because I'm a Red Sox fan. Then I go LA. Then I go Detroit, and then next would be Oakland Athletics for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pittsburgh Pirates. That's mine.
Yeah, I like all those you names. The A's is so classic.
Yeah.
I mean, the Yankees, you can't. It's hard. I know you're not a Yankees guy, but it's hard to. It's been around forever. It's barely changed. It's had like 5 iterations. It's such a classic logo.
Yeah, to me, like the Yankees logo, it's very similar to like a pile of shit. So I mean, it's like kind of so those two things kind of go hand in hand for me. But yeah, listen, man. I mean, I those logos are clean. The Yankees logo is a classic logo. I'm not gonna deny it.
It's what, probably close to 100 years old now. I'm not sure when they first debuted it, but it's probably in the 20s.
Yeah, but it had some weird variations along the way.
Yeah, sure, but it's still that interlocking NY that.
Yeah.
I like the Atlanta Braves A also.
Oh yeah.
Clearly as an inspiration for the Natives hat.
Yeah.
Classic A.
Yeah.
I'm just picking it up.
I love this Anchorage hat too.
Yeah, thank you.
That thing's beautiful, man. And the
So-
cracking too, man. I just want you to make more, man.
Me too.
Make more. We have people asking too, man.
Yeah.
We got to get some. They want some pre-orders on this Sea Devil, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but there are more colorways coming.
Yeah.
If they sell insanely fast, maybe it'll happen. It seems like Hat Club's doing more pre-orders now.
Chris, here's what I can guarantee you. I can guarantee this. If you were able to get 72 Sea Devils in whatever colorway up on that site, they'd be gone in seconds.
Yeah.
They'd be gone before that.
The orange logo sold pretty quick. So I mean,
but the orange logo wasn't even at the height of it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my first one.
Yeah. Listen, any influence you have to get more of those on the site, man, I'm telling you, you'll sell them out in seconds.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I think so. I think they'll work. I think they'll keep selling. It's just a classic logo. People seem to like it.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, I know you have a sketchbook there. Did you want to show us a couple of things or no?
I mean, I was looking for that first Gabachos Tacos one. I think it's in a different sketchbook. I didn't see it in there. Is there anything else you like specifically you want to see?
No, I think it's cool to kind of just show off some sketches because I don't think folks realize, not everyone realizes what goes into this work, you know?
Here's the OG Kraken sketches.
Oh, that's sick.
See what I mean, man? This is the kind of stuff people want to see.
You want to see something else? I don't know if people will know this. OG, real old clinkers might know. But when I first submitted that design, it was an O. It was an Orioles inspired O.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Casey thought it was too close to the Orioles because I was calling it the Octos. And he was like, maybe you could, just change it up. Maybe it's an 8 instead of an O. That was actually his idea.
I actually think that blog post was up on clinkroom.com for a long time because I remember seeing that. And then,
This is the final where it was like,
that's badass too, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then, like I said, he thought I should switch it up, which I was actually proud of this because I thought it was a really good illustration.
Well, maybe Hat Club will run it.
maybe Hat Club
will
doesn't,
run it.
yeah, maybe Hat Club doesn't give a shit about how close it looks like the Orioles, though.
Good idea. I'll run it by him actually. Yeah.
Size 8 when it gets made.
Give it a shot, man.
Here's that old Seattle grind.
Yep.
Never to be seen again, I don't think.
I like that, man.
The old Sea Devils.
So like the Sea Devils, well,
This is the original drawing for the Octos.
Well, that's bad.
nice.
Yeah. So listen. So really quick, Chris. Right? Like your process. So you've sketched something, right? What's next?
I draw it until the flow is right, until it's smooth and it flows right. I don't go to digital until the proportions are good.
Yeah.
Small things can always be tweaked digital, but a lot of stuff I do is organic, animals, nature, and so it's real flowy. It's got to have like the right feel to it. So I always draw that first, and then I'll scan it and take it into whatever graphic program I'm using.
Yeah.
Move it all out.
See, it's interesting because you deal with different artists that understand what you need to do to make it look right on a hat. Some people don't get it, right? But like you clearly have gotten how simple and just clean it needs to look on a hat. And listen, man, it's impressive. It's impressive.
Yeah, it's a different kind of design. Like I said, I didn't get it at first. With that first tacos logo, I didn't get it. I had never done a hat, and I quickly found out. It's got to be, it can't be too tall. People forget it's pretty small.
Yeah.
It's got to be sort of square, and it's got to be simple, and it's got to fit on the canvas.
Yeah. Right. So, Chris, we're kind of getting towards the end of the journey here. So we've talked through like some of your process. We talked through the first, your first portion of your time with Clink Room. Now tell us about how you transitioned to Hat Club.
Well, I knew about Hat Club. I bought a few hats from them, and I knew they did customs. But one day I saw on their Instagram page, there's a custom, and it slips my mind which exact hat it was, but I knew I had seen it through the Clink Room. And I was like, the light bulb went off. I was like, if they can reproduce an old Clink Room hat, let me just get in touch with them and, see what's going on. And so I sent a private message to the account. I don't know who manages their account. But I told them who I was, told them I designed Sea Devils and some other hats. And that, that always sold well. And would they be interested if I could, design him some hats. And so they passed on to the buyer, John, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
T800 John.
Guys.
T800 John, right?
What's that?
T800 John. We try to get his Instagram out there for everybody because they can bug him.
So and he was like, "Let's do it."
Yeah.
He's like, "What do you have? Send me some stuff." And so I sent him a few things, and he was like, "Done." He's like, "Let's do it." I was like, "Well, the tech pack for the Sea Devils is already out there. New Era already has it. Let's just switch up some logos or some colors, I mean, and get them going." And then from there, I started designing new stuff. That was that.
Yeah, so that's the start of a great relationship, right?
Yeah, it's the beginnings. It's looking good.
So, what can you share is on the horizon for you with us? Like, if you can't share, I understand. But like, what's next for you? Like, what's next?
More of the same for now. I got 5 more lined up in the queue, ready to be made once New Era gets back, to 100%.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, this is just me I'm not final on this, but I was thinking my first 10 hats are all going to be in the same vein, right? That's kind of what I've done. Like one color, animal, monogram, letter, that kind of style.
Yeah.
And I was debating maybe doing my next 10 hats in a different style, sort of like a fashion season, right? Like fall, spring.
Yeah.
Thinking about doing like mascots, like vintage mascot styles, just sort of like something, because I've always liked that, but I've never really done. I've only designed 3 or 4 of them ever.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like how they look. So I might go that direction.
Man, that sounds cool, man. I don't know about everybody else.
Hey, if that's a good idea or not.
So Chris, I'd love it if we could end on this, because we're about to get into a hat battle. I'm gonna kind of get you up to speed on some of these contestants in a second. But if there's anything out there that you could share with us that we don't already know that's important to know about you, what would it be?
About me personally?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm not really I'm just the guy who makes logos, man. If you like my hats, keep buying them. That's important to me. But otherwise, I'm just the guy behind the logo. I don't need to be out there in the front.
I like it. Chris, this was a great conversation. I really appreciate you coming on with us to talk.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, we love getting under the cap with folks like you and learning more about the process and more about how you create. And listen, you're bringing a lot to the hat game right now, and we all love it. So
I'll tell you what, I got some stories. We do a volume 2 one day.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you know what? No, we got time for one story. Why don't you tell us one?
Okay. So here's a story. So this is the original Sea Devils hat.
Yeah,
it's New Era, green bill.
Yep.
But it's a snapback.
Uh-oh.
That doesn't seem right.
So nobody has seen this. Well, I mean, a handful of people. But what happened was New Era or the Clink Room, somebody mislabeled or mistagged the logo within the catalog of New Era, and it was available for anybody to use by mistake. So I got a Instagram message, a DM from a friend of mine, and he was like, "Hey, ECAP City is selling your hat in a snapback." And I was like, "Well, I haven't gotten a check for that. So let me see what's going on with this. It's news to me, right?"
Yeah.
So I hit him up, and I think I tagged the Clink Room on the post too. And it was an honest mistake. They just liked the logo and it was available, so they used it. And they had a run made. And when Casey reached out to him from the Clink Room, they were like, "Okay, we'll pull him down." We didn't know. So I contacted him and I was like, "Look, man, what are you gonna do with these hats?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not gonna sell them." But I had a feeling he was gonna sell them. Why would you not, right? You got the money invested.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Just sell them to me. I'll buy them." I was like, "Sell them to me for your wholesale. You won't lose any money." I think he only had like 10 made, and I was gonna buy them all, but I felt sort of funny about like buying my own hat back when I never got paid for it in the first place.
Yeah.
It's about like 5 or 6 of them. So the other 4 or 5, I don't know. Maybe they got bought. Maybe they're sitting in the basement somewhere. I couldn't tell you.
Listen, I mean,
I got some snapbacks if anybody's interested.
I'll buy one. I'll buy
one. Chris,
I think you just sold them all.
Chris, I'll buy one. I'll buy one, and I'll make sure no one in public ever sees it. Because I'd want it for my personal collection.
We can talk after this. I'll tell you what.
We got one more question from the crowd. Everybody wants to know what's in the cup. What you sipping on there?
It's the bourbon guy.
Love it, man. Love it.
Saturday.